Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. So Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed starts out with the gang being honored because they solved so many mysteries that they are opening a museum about all the ghosts that they unmasked during the years. And everybody had their own fan club. Daphne has her fan club where these two girls dress up as her and they ask for her autographs, and it's just so because the little girls are like so little, but I just love it. It's just so adorable. And then Freddy over here, he has his own fan club full of girls. I don't know how Daphne isn't jealous because they're dating now. So I don't know how Daphne's not even jealous that he has a fan club full of girls. And guys, some guys are in there to get an autograph. But mostly it's girls. It's girls. And I don't know how Daphne's not jealous because Fred is her boyfriend. But anyway, even Shaggy has his own fan club. Scooby has his own fan club. And everything is going great. And they are talking about the monsters that they unmasked to the reporter. Helen Jasper Howe. And the reason I took so long to say it is because I despise this character so much. So much because she just puts Mystery Inc. in a bad light twice when they be trying their best in this movie. But anyway, moving on. In Velma fall in love once again with Patrick, the owner of the museum. And Patrick asks Velma out on a date, but she's too shy. But don't worry, there's light coming in that story. But anyway, moving on, but we will circle back to them. Well, while everyone's having a good time and they're seeing all the statues and it in the museum, there is actually an unmasked figure who comes through the window and he tells Mystery Incorporated, this time you will be the one unmasked. And they try to capture it. And it doesn't go as well because a lot of the monsters that they put away are coming to life for some reason, but we don't know what the reason is yet. So they try to capture this one monster in a curtain, but Scooby and Shaggy let go of the curtain because they're too afraid to get caught by the ghost. And this is when the monster actually gets away. But all Shaggy and Scooby had to do was grab the rope, but they were too afraid to. And to be honest, I would be afraid too. Like, I am not grabbing a rope so I can trap a ghost in a curtain. No, thank you. No, thank you. So anyway, Um, af- after the monster gets away, and they defeat all the other monsters, and for some reason, um, Fred. So when they defeat all the other monsters, I guess Fred takes to the press, and the press actually makes him look bad by saying that little old Coosville, that little old um um by actually saying that little old cruel wait wait Cruelsville can solve their problems without us. But they will always be there. But Fred also says, but they will always be there to help because the people in this town are the best people in the world. And everybody begins cheering on the camera. Remember that. Remember in the beginning in the movie when I told you that Fred actually did make a speech like this. But that nasty reporter, she just made it seem like little old Cruelsville can solve their problems without the gang helping them. Without actually Mystery Incorporated helping them. And this was on the news. And then, on the other hand, Shaggy and Scooby are feeling kind of bad because they feel like this is all their fault. If they wouldn't have let the ropes go and help the gang catch the ghost in the first place, this wouldn't have happened, and they wouldn't have got a bad review from the news. But in all honesty, when the statues of the ghosts that they when the statues of the monsters came to life to help the unmasked figure. It's not like you guys didn't try to help me. You tried to grab the rope, and the pterodactyl ghost actually just grabbed them. And did I tell you that they got all the monsters defeated safe and sound? Well, no, because the monsters are still out there. They just don't know where they are yet. And the monster actually stole 2 costumes. And I hate to tell you guys, but it gets worse. So Shaggy and Scooby actually work together to prove that they're in the gang. They go to prove to Mystery Incorporated that they actually belong in the gang with them. They actually go and try to solve the mystery themselves. So him and Scooby work together, and they do actually find the solid lead, a place where all the bad guys hang out. And then they bump into Mr. Wiggles, the original night ghost. And let me just tell you, they are not Mystery Incorporated's biggest fans, so they do dress up in disguises, and it just seems to go very well until Scooby starts dancing and then his wig falls off, and then they go running out. But they do get cut. They do get caught by all the villains, and the villains throw them into a trash can. Meanwhile, the gang goes searching for clues, and they actually do find a pterodactyl scale by breaking into Mr. Wiggles' house. And they do actually get trapped, but Daphne gets them out with her makeup kit by taking blush and and um and as um and a piece of paper. Well, um what do you call it? A landing strip, and actually putting it on on wait on on the end of the trap door, because the trap door is actually computer animated, but Daphne got them out in a flash. But Fred, I do have to agree with Shaggy. Shaggy told you not to ring the doorbell, and so did the voice when you showed up at the house. But you refused to listen. And then you got in the trap, and then Shaggy told you. That is what will happen when you ring the doorbell, Freddy. So it turned out that the museum actually gets robbed again, and the mask in, in, the mask figure shows up. And then the reporter, Helen Jasper Howe, actually tells Daphne that she is nothing but a pretty face. And then Daphne figures out that she may be behind the crimes, but she can't be, because the mask figure is like right there on the building. And then the and 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 and, and then the reporter and 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 and, and then Helen Jasper Howe actually goes chasing after the masked figure for her scoop on the whole Mystery Inc. debacle. Ew. And Patrick and Velma, they try to have their first date with Velma dressing all nice, but it doesn't go well because Patrick finds out that the museum has been robbed with actually 3 costumes, and that the monsters are back and they are raised and they are just causing disaster for the town. So, with Mystery Inc. failing, they go to the old tree house that they had when they were in high school. And they all come to realize that solving mysteries, when what's fun to them, because they just loved unraveling a mystery. But not now, since they gotta prove anything to anyone. You guys, You guys cannot stop now. You are Mystery Inc. This is me talking to them. Guys, do not stop now. And they do not stop because Velma, my girl Velma, finds out that if she can just build a panel like the panel that they found in that one hideout place. And I don't know why they just didn't take that one. But if they could just rebuild the panel, all the monsters will deactivate and actually Cruiseville will love them again. So they build a panel, and then Scooby and Shaggy are sad once again because they feel like they can't do anything right. And do you remember when I told you that they tried to find a place? They're the ones that found that place. Mm, um, that one place, um, that Wiggles, that, actually Wiggles was at after they went to his house. And, Scooby Doo's, actually stole the toilet brush. But in the building, they actually do find science experiment liquid that they drink, and then Scooby becomes super smart, and then Shaggy ends up having really big muscles, and then Scooby being super smart, he creates a potion that changes them back. But the gang catches him because the gang is there too. So Shaggy asks what Scooby is doing, and Scooby says, "Well, I'm going to transform us back to ourselves." And then Shaggy says, "No way! I like having big muscles." And then there's a big blow up. But it turned out what Scooby and Shaggy found was not anything bad when they first went to go hunting for the truth about Mr. Wiggles, because he was just building a summer camp for kids. And then and 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 then and 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 then the investors said no to the idea when the gang busted in and told them about everything they found in his apartment, and that they found a book on how to create monsters. And if you have all the science stuff and you put it together, the gang figured out that Mr. Wiggles was trying to create monsters, but it is not him, my friends. And remember when I said about Patrick Well, Patrick was found in an alleyway trying to scare somebody because the costumes went missing from the museum, and Velma thinks that Patrick is the bad guy because she found a shrine in that one place. And in that one place where all the missing costumes were. Now, Patrick did say that the museum was big to him, so he probably did it. Velma's thinking to herself, and so when she does think it's Patrick, Patrick finds her, and Velma asks him because Velma lost her glasses, but Patrick actually finds them and he gives them back to her. And then Velma asks, "Why are you so obsessed with Jonathan DeCobo?" And then this is when Patrick says, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." And then Velma runs away, and the gang has to face off monsters. So while they got the panel, they are taking it back into the hideout to hook up to the VVV cord or some or well, not the VVV cord, to hook it up to the systems and press the button, and then all the monsters will go away once it is on the panel. And then over here with Velma, she actually falls, and Patrick actually say, and Patrick actually tries to save her, but Velma thinks that he is the evil masked figure that is ruining everything and making all the monsters appear. But he says that he is not, and that Velma needs to trust him. So she lets go of the crate that she is hanging onto, and Patrick lifts her up. And then Velma says, "You saved my life." And then Patrick gets taken away by the pterodactyl monster. And then it is all over, because the night ghost is facing off with Freddy. And the electric plug ghost is facing off with Daphne. Now, Daphne tries her best to fight him off, but she actually gets pushed into electricity, and Fred actually gets pushed down by the night ghost. Now, Shaggy and Scooby have ha they have what they need to defeat the monster. and and they actually go into the building to plug it in, but not so fast. They can't plug it in now because they they are almost detected by the cotton candy ghost. And Freddy and Freddy and Velma and Daphne thinks that actually Scooby and Shaggy are so afraid that are actually so afraid of the ghost that they will not plug the thing in to get rid of the ghost. So they actually eat the cotton candy monster, and even though all the gang gets captured by the masked figure, and it seems like all hope is lost, it's Scooby Doo to the rescue, because he grabs the fire. He actually grabs the fire extinguisher, turns it into an ice um dis- um distinguisher, and then freezes everything, and then freezes every monster that they came up against when the monsters are about to attack him. But he didn't freeze the masked figure. But Scooby's not giving up now. He slides on the floor to the control panel, and he puts the panel into the and he almost puts the control panel into it because just a minute ago everybody was playing frisbee because everybody was getting caught by a monster. And then when Scooby had the upper hand and Shaggy throws it to Scooby, he actually plugged it in, but before he plugged it in, um, um, the masked figure actually asks, "Who do you think you are?" And he says, "Scooby Dooby Doo," and he plugs it in, and he actually presses the button, and all the monsters are defeated. Except for the masked figure who is tied up at the moment. But they never really said how he was tied up because I think he just lost all his power to control the monsters. So I'm not sure how they caught it. How they caught the masked figure, because if he can't control the monsters, well, I guess the gang can just grab him and they can take him over to the police, and the police can put the monster in handcuffs. Well, anyway, we find out that the masked figure is none other than Helen Jasper Howe, who is actually Jonathan DeCobo. Now, they did mention Jonathan DeCobo at the beginning of the movie, but everybody thought he was dead because he tried to fly off of the building after building pterodactyl wings, and he actually framed Mr. Mr. Oldman Wiggles to make it seem like he was the one building the monsters. And that's how the gang found the book in his luggage, because Jonathan DeCobo put it there. And since they were old classmates, I guess he had a score to settle. But it turned out that he actually faked his death, and that he was trying to get revenge on Mystery Inc. for putting him away all those years ago. That's why he made them look bad in front of the press. Because he just wanted revenge. But he actually ends up going to prison along with Ned, because Ned was the accomplice. Do you remember when Helen do you guys remember when Helen Jasper Hal was at the museum with Daphne, and that she said it is her job to unmask those who pretend to be something that they're not? That's when Daphne figured out it was her. But you may be asking yourself, Addie, how can she be the masked figure when she was at the museum seeing the same thing that Daphne was saying? But she had Ned dress up as the masked figure instead. So Ned is an accomplice, so he is going to jail too. And Mystery Inc. has actually done it again, and everybody claps, and it's all happy, happy ending time. So, Freddy and Daphne, they kiss, and Velma actually asks Patrick out on a date, and he says he would love to go on a date with her. And then Shaggy and Scooby, they actually find out that they belong in the gang after all. And then the movie ends with a big dance party. And that is the end of Scooby-Doo. And that is the end of Scooby-Doo Monsters Unmasked. Bye, and see you guys in my next video.